I'll
right?
record that.
Right. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Insiders. And I'm Todd Probasco, mortgage broker, mortgage banker at Lakeside Bank in Chicago. And I'm very happy to have Angie Corcione, managing broker at Fulton Grace Realty in Chicago. Angie, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing, Todd? Thanks for having me.
Great. Yeah, thanks for joining the show, and look forward to talking to you today.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about you and what you do, how long you've been doing it. So I know you've been in real estate, is it 28 years, you said?
Yes, 28 years.
Okay, you still have your sanity?
I think so.
Tell us a little bit about how you started way back 28 years ago and kind of take us down the road of where you're at today.
Well, I mean, I always knew that I wanted to get into real estate at a young age. I was 22 when I started the course. College route wasn't really something that I was into. And, I took some courses at a junior college, but real estate seemed to be what I wanted to do. Took the course. I got introduced to an agent that was a really top performer in the area that I lived in at the time. And she mentored me. And that's really kind of where it got going, and was fortunate enough and blessed enough to have opened my own company and started that. And here we are 28 years later.
Nice. And when you think about it, a 22-year-old dealing with people with the largest investment they're ever going to make, was that hard to get clients at 22 years old?
It was very hard. But I found that just being honest with them and letting them know that I had just gotten into the business, you'd be surprised how many people want to help and work with people. It was challenging at times, but I was also fortunate enough to learn under someone that really, kind of taught me a lot through the business, and other agents as well. So it was one of those, just you learn as you go, but it was difficult, but I put my time in, that's for sure.
Did you have any pushback, like older people saying, how am I going to trust a 22-year-old selling my house and getting me a new one? Was that an issue?
Absolutely. I'll never forget. There were some clients in the beginning that were like, you just started. What do you know? You're 20. Exactly. You're 22. And my answer was always, you have to start somewhere. I hope you give me a chance. And most of the time they did.
Good. And it seems like it worked out and they trusted you. And
it sure did. And to this day, I mentor agents. I love being part of that part of the business, just being able to help new agents, because I remember how it was to get started. I don't have to tell you in the same business. So, and then, like I said, there were times where people were like, yeah, no, we'll use someone else, but that's okay.
So if we go back, you started as an agent, you're 22 years old, you're getting your feet on the ground, and you mentioned you ended up owning your own firm. Let's talk about that. How did you go from, that's a big move, going from working for a company and now.
And that was, again, God put me in the right place at the right time. I was leaving the office that I was with for certain firms, staying with the same brand, but I just wanted to go out on my own as an agent. Joined this office here in Elk Grove at the time. And a year later, the actual owner of that office needed some help and asked me to partner with him. So I did. I grew the office from like 7 agents to, I think it was like 42 in a year. And it just wasn't working, the partnership. So I bought him out a year later, and I was with that brand for another 18 years. And last year sold it to Fulton Grace, which was the best move I've ever made.
Excellent. For any real estate agent that's listening, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit and you want to take it to the next level, you can go from agent to owner. And we live in a country that gives you that opportunity. Any words of advice for an agent who's thinking about it, going to the next step and starting or becoming an owner of their own firm versus working for somebody else? What are your thoughts on that? Because it's a big move.
I would tell that agent, it's a pretty, the answer comes to me pretty easily. Just, you have to have a lot of patience. Leadership is not for everyone, and I'm sure you understand that. but I think the patience part of it is huge. And you've got to be able to handle, every agent's personality, every agent's ups and downs. But it's such a beautiful business and there's such potential. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to start your own company, your own firm, open up your own brand, franchise, as long as you have the patience and that hard work ethic, I think, someone can do it.
That's awesome. Good words of advice. Let's talk about right now what's going on in the world. You focus on the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Mhm.
Where are you based at again?
So my office is in Elk Grove,
Elk Grove Village.
which,
For people who are listening, near O'Hare, up that way, northwest.
yeah, we're just south of Schaumburg, Woodfield
Yep.
Mall.
Yep.
We focus, my team and I primarily focus probably like the Addison, Bloomingdale, Roselle, Itasca, obviously Elk Grove. And most of our agents here are kind of that same, within probably a 10 to 15 mile radius of our office.
Nice. The northwest suburbs of Chicago. Real estate goes through cycles, right?
Yeah.
And you and I, with our tenure, have seen quite a few. It seems like we're coming out of a kind of a different one right now, that ever since the election, we've had uncertainty in the market. Whether it be the tariffs, the bond market hasn't responded favorably, which had an effect on interest rates.
Mhm.
But it seems like this past month, this is current. For those of you listening, this is being recorded in August of 2025. The market's starting to stabilize a bit.
Yes.
From an interest rate standpoint, and we've actually had a little bit of improvement. From a sales standpoint, are you seeing that the customers and the clients are starting to feel a little more comfortable of doing a transaction? Because there was a lot of uncertainty after the first of the year that I think scared a lot of people out of the market. They just weren't really, there were so many crazy things on TV. It put a lot of worry in people's head. That's what I was hearing. Are you seeing a little bit of more?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think, our media can do that to people.
Yeah.
But in the real world, I'm with you on the first month or so. I thought, we saw that uncertainty with clients, hesitation. But it kind of, maybe a little bit more than a month, but it picked up, I would say, by February. And, I don't see these rates being an issue as much anymore. I think the average consumer is used to the rates. They are what they are. And as educators, I mean, because that's, of course we're realtors, but, we have to educate our clients. And I think if you educate your client and let them know that, hey, you might be into this for a 7% rate right now, but come next year, it sounds like, rates are coming down and you can attest to that, refinance. So I think as we educate our clients more, they're starting to realize, oh yeah, I'd rather get in and purchase it at X price than get in next year at an even higher price, just to save a little bit on the rate. So I feel like the consumers are more, apt to putting in the offers. They're not as concerned about these rates. So we've picked up, I mean, since February, March, we've picked up tremendously.
Yeah.
And, we've got a lot of good things happening too. So.
And it sounds like inventory has improved. There's more choices for buyers right now.
Inventory has improved a bit. That's still our problem though. Until I think the rates come into the low sixes, high fives, I think we're still going to have that issue. Would you agree? Because sellers are still kind of a little bit apprehensive to let go of that 2.25%, 2.5% rate.
Yeah. During COVID, when we refied everybody and their mother into the 2s and 3s to refi into the 6s, people are like, Todd, you're crazy.
But to go from a 3 to a 5, not too bad, right?
Right. And they need to downsize or upsize. It's called life, right? Since that life changes, but they don't want to give up that low interest rate. But I think I agree with you. We have now stabilized into the low mid 6s, which when you look at the history of interest rates, I agree with you. It shouldn't be a big deal because right now the rate that we're offering people is lower than the average for the last 50 years.
And it's healthy. I
Yeah,
think when we saw what we did during COVID, it was crazy. Yeah, it was
it's
a great
insane.
time. Business was great, but it's just not a healthy market. And I think what we're seeing right now is, we're scraping off all the fat, as you'd call it, or the bad cells, and we're just becoming a healthier market. And I think that's what we need in this business.
Yeah, and if you've put off selling for whatever reason that you need to move, um, being able to understand that we're not going to have 2.7 rates anymore, that if you can get 6.63,
Right.
6.4, not a bad deal. But you get to go on with your life and do what you want to do. And I think people are becoming more understanding to do that
Yeah,
now.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I think, when anybody can get used to a certain, just like, our groceries and whatnot, everything went up, but no one's talking about it anymore. I
Right.
feel like, everyone's used to it. It's just like everything else. So, and I don't blame sellers for not wanting to move. There's plenty of times that we go on appointments and we're like, hey, you know what? Stay where you're at, then wait. I mean, it's not right for everybody. And you have to be very understanding of that, in what we do.
Yeah. All right. We've talked about your past and we're talking about the current market. What are some of the goals that you have personally? You've been doing this a long time. You're very successful in what you do. As you look for the rest of 2025 and then into 26 and 27, what are some of the goals you have for you and your business here in real estate in Chicago?
Well, my biggest goal was always to work with developers and new construction, and we finally hit it. My team and I are representing.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're representing two new developments right, here in the northwest suburbs in Addison and Bloomingdale. So, I'm happy to say that I've actually met my goal. I mean, I'm looking to continue to expand that part of our business and work with developers and new construction, because that's something that I have a passion for, and a lot of, everyone on my team does. So we have a lot of that in common. So it's a nice thing to be able to say you've reached your goals. Not all of my goals, but as far as business goes, we're
Well, that's
just
exciting.
tapping into it. So it's exciting.
You're adding new construction to the mix of buy and sell of existing
Yeah,
homes.
subdivisions. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
we've got two subdivisions we're representing. One's a 20 unit and the other is a 9. So it's really exciting.
That's exciting. So new construction. So I've been doing mortgage for a while. I live in Chicago. I live in the southwest suburbs. I live down in the Palos area. And one of the things that people love about our business is getting to know us personally. And why would I hire Angie to sell my home or help me buy one? And why would I hire Todd to get a mortgage? And before we started recording this, you and I agreed that it's still a people business, and people hire us because they feel comfortable and they trust
Yeah.
us. Tell us a few things about you personally. A little bit about you, your background, what you like to do. A little bit of outside of selling homes, right? I think I love when people ask me, I know you don't do mortgages 24/7. I go, well, I kind of do, but no, I try to.
Well, I don't sell
Right, you got to
houses
have a balance, right?
24/7. I wish I did, but no, actually, I don't wish I did.
No, you don't. No.
No, I actually enjoy, I'm very, I like to work out. I try to have a good balance. My faith is very important to me. I go to church every Sunday. I love
Awesome.
spending time with my family, my 2 daughters. You know, I can't say that I have this exciting life. I'm jumping out of planes and stuff like that, but I enjoy my time. I like to, I know when to turn it off. I like to have that time where I can just relax. I like to give back a lot. I do a lot of mentoring, at the local high school. We do a lot of different charitable events. Those are things that are important to me too, and not just for business, but as a person. So those are kind of where I put my extra time, or when I'm not basically working.
Right. It's so easy, especially in this business, to get drawn in to, I got to forget those things that are important and go do the next deal. But as you and I both know, being parents, the kids grow up so fast. If you don't take the time to spend time and block this out to what's important.
Oh God, yeah.
I
mean, my youngest is a sophomore in college now, and it's like, where did the time go? Right. And I'll tell you, that's a fun time too, going to visit her.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Going out and acting like a college student. It's pretty fun.
Right. It's like you want to go there for a semester.
Maybe half a semester.
Right, there you go.
I don't think I'd last a full semester. No, but it's just, I'm at a point in my life. I'm 51 years old. I'm just finally like really settled into who I am and enjoying myself. And work is just, we've got a great reputation out there, and I'm proud to say it. And it's at a point where it's just coming, you work so hard for that continuing referral business, and it's just like at a great spot. So I'm very blessed and thankful for that.
Well, that's awesome. And it's been a pleasure talking to you today. And I will have your contact info added at the bottom for anybody who would want to reach out and reach you.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much.
Of course. And thank you for joining us. And I will tell you this, that of the hundreds of people I talk to in real estate, very few people have it all put together. And you happen to be one of those people. And
thanks, Todd.
It's been enjoyable, to do this with you. So
you didn't see my shoes, so don't say that.
Do what?
I said you didn't see my shoes, so don't say that.
Yeah, right. Todd, I walked out with 2 different color shoes on.
I'm kidding.
No, right.
No, this is great. Anytime we can help out, I'd love to continue.
Yeah. So if anybody's looking to buy or sell in the northwest suburbs or in around Chicago, please reach out to Angie. I'll have both of our contact info at the bottom. And we can help you with buy, sell, and finance real estate in and around the Chicagoland area. So on behalf of myself and Angie, we want to thank you for listening. And this has been another episode of the Real Estate Insiders, coming to you live from Chicago. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks, Todd.